The Saturday before it all collapsed, I was sitting in my downtown office finishing quarterly reports when my phone buzzed with a group text. My sister Rachel had sent a link to the family chat. Getting offers already. Can't believe how fast this is moving. I clicked the link. My beachfront house. Listed for $2.3 million. Professional photography. Virtual tour. Open house scheduled for Sunday, February 5 p.m. I owned that property outright. Bought it 8 years ago for $890,000 with money from my consulting practice. Rachel knew this. Everyone knew this. The deed was in my name. The property taxes came from my account. The insurance policy listed me as sole owner. I called her immediately. Oh, you saw it. Her voice was bright, cheerful. Don't worry, I'm handling everything. You're always so busy with work, I figured I'd help you liquidate some assets. The market is incredible right now. Rachel, you can't sell my house. Our house technically. Dad said when he helped you with the down payment it became family property. I'm just facilitating the sale. We'll split it 6 ways. You, me, Mom, Dad, Brandon, and Kira. Everyone gets about $380,000 after commission and closing costs. You're welcome. My father had not helped with the down payment. He'd offered to loan me $50,000 at 8% interest. I'd declined and secured conventional financing instead. I have the deed, Rachel. It's in my name only. This is fraud. She laughed. It sounded genuine, unconcerned. God, you're so dramatic. It's just real estate. I'm doing you a favor. That place is too big for one person anyway. Stop being difficult. She hung up. I sat there for 3 minutes watching the listing refresh. 21 offers now according to the counter. The price had jumped to $2.4 million. Motivated seller. The description read. Bring your best offer. I called David Cho, my real estate attorney. We'd worked together when I purchased the property and when I'd bought 2 rental units downtown. He answered on the second ring. I need you to look at something. I sent him the listing link. He was quiet for exactly 8 seconds. Claire, this is your Shoreline Drive property. Yes. You didn't authorize this listing. Correct. Your sister is the listing agent. Yes. More silence. Then, I'll be at that open house tomorrow at 2 p.m. Don't contact your sister. Don't post about this. Document everything she sends you but don't respond. I'm calling the title company right now. That night the family group chat exploded with messages. My mother, so proud of Rachel for helping Claire finally see reason. My father, about time that property started benefiting the whole family. My brother Brandon, I'm putting my share toward the boat I've been eyeing. Not one of them asked if I'd consented to the sale. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the day I closed on that house. Walking through empty rooms, measuring windows, planning where furniture would go. The ocean view from the primary bedroom. The small deck where I drank coffee every morning. It wasn't just property. It was the first thing I'd built entirely on my own. Rachel had been furious when I bought it. You're being selfish, she'd said at the time. That money could help all of us. She'd wanted me to invest in her previous real estate scheme. A condo flip that went bankrupt within 6 months. On Sunday morning I drove past the house. Rachel's luxury SUV was already there. She'd hired a staging company. Through the windows I could see they'd rearranged my furniture, added decorator pieces, even hung different art on the walls. A professional photographer was setting up lights. The sign in the front yard was enormous. Rachel Morrison Premium Properties. Open house today 2 to 5 p.m. I parked 3 blocks away and waited. At 1:55 p.m., David arrived in his Mercedes, carrying a leather portfolio. He was dressed in a suit, his courtroom uniform. I watched him walk up the front path and disappear inside. At 2:03 p.m., my phone started ringing. I didn't answer. At 2:07 p.m., 3 police cruisers pulled up to the house. I drove over and parked across the street. A small crowd had gathered on the sidewalk. Potential buyers who'd been inside, neighbors, people walking their dogs. Several were filming on their phones. David was standing on the front porch with 2 officers. Rachel was next to him, her face pale, hands gesturing wildly. I could hear fragments of her voice. Misunderstanding, family property, she agreed. I walked up the path. One of the officers turned. Are you Claire Morrison? Yes. You're the property owner? The deed is in your name only. Correct. I bought this house in 2017. I've never authorized anyone to list it for sale. David opened his portfolio and handed documents to the officer. Copy of the deed recorded with the county. Copy of Ms. Morrison's property tax payments for the last 8 years. Copy of the homeowner's insurance policy. All in Claire Morrison's name. Sole owner. The officer looked at Rachel. You listed this property for sale without the owner's authorization? She's my sister. This is a family matter, not illegal. Ma'am, this is fraud. Real estate fraud. You've accepted offers on property you don't own, signed documents claiming authority you don't have, and staged an open house under false pretenses. Inside the house, I could see potential buyers gathering their things, whispering to each other. One couple was talking to another officer, showing their phones, probably the offer they'd submitted. My mother's car screeched up to the curb. She and my father jumped out, my father already yelling. What the hell is going on? Rachel said you were causing problems. David stepped forward. Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, I'm David Cho, Claire's real estate attorney. Your daughter Rachel has committed real estate fraud by listing property she doesn't own. The police are here to investigate. My mother looked at me. You called the police on your own sister? Over a house. She tried to sell my house without my permission, Mom. She forged documents. She collected offers from buyers. That's not a family disagreement. That's a crime. My father turned to Rachel. You said Claire agreed to this. You said Dad's down payment made it family property. Rachel's eyes were filling with tears. I just assumed, we're family, it should benefit all of us. I bought this house myself, I said quietly. Dad offered to loan me money at 8% interest. I declined. I got a conventional mortgage. I've paid every bill, every tax installment, every insurance premium for 8 years. You all knew this. One of the officers was on his radio. Another was taking statements from the potential buyers inside. A third was reviewing the documents David had provided. The lead officer looked at Rachel. Ms. Morrison, you're going to need to come to the station for questioning. You have the right to remain silent. Wait, you're arresting her? My mother's voice went shrill. Claire, tell them this is a misunderstanding. It's not a misunderstanding, David said. His voice was cold, professional. Your daughter listed property for $2.3 million that she doesn't own. She signed listing agreements. She accepted offers. She scheduled inspections. This meets the legal definition of real estate fraud, identity theft, and forgery. The title company has already filed a complaint. The potential buyers who submitted offers are considering legal action for their time and expenses. My father was staring at Rachel. How many offers did you accept? 27, one of the officers said, checking his notes. Several with earnest money deposits. Where's that money, Rachel? My father asked. Rachel didn't answer. She was crying now, mascara running down her face. David answered instead. The earnest money went into an escrow account. When the title company couldn't verify ownership, they froze the account and contacted authorities. Those buyers will get their deposits back. But they're entitled to compensation for fraud. Each one could sue. Sue. My mother looked panicked. For how much? Depends on their damages. Inspection fees, appraisal costs, attorney fees if they hired counsel, lost opportunities if they passed on other properties. Plus emotional distress. We're looking at potentially $300,000 to $500,000 in civil liability. That's separate from the criminal charges. The number hit the three of them like a physical blow. My brother Brandon's car pulled up. He jumped out, confused. Why are the cops here? I thought we were celebrating Rachel's sale. There is no sale, I said. Rachel tried to sell my house without my permission. She's being arrested for fraud. Brandon looked at Rachel, then at our parents, then at the police officers putting handcuffs on our sister. Wait, what? I turned to David. I want the listing removed immediately. I want a title alert placed on this property. And I want a restraining order filed. He nodded. Already in process. The listing will be down within the hour. I've placed a fraud alert with the title company. No transactions can proceed without your in-person authorization with 2 forms of ID. And I'm filing for a restraining order tomorrow morning. One of the officers was walking Rachel toward the police car. My mother was crying. My father was on his phone, presumably calling an attorney. A woman in her 60s approached me from the sidewalk. "Excuse me, are you the actual owner?" "Yes." I was inside. "I submitted an offer this morning. $2.5 million all cash." She looked at the house, then at me. "I'm sorry this happened to you. Your sister told everyone you were elderly and in a nursing home, that she had power of attorney." She showed documents. Forged documents. She'd actually forged power of attorney paperwork. "I'm interested in the property legitimately," the woman continued. "If you ever do decide to sell, here's my card. But I understand if you want nothing to do with this mess." I took the card. "Thank you." She glanced at my family, still in various states of crisis on the lawn. Family isn't who shares your blood. It's who respects your boundaries. After she left, David and I went inside. The staging company had made it look like a completely different house. Neutral colors, generic art, furniture arranged for maximum appeal. All my personal items had been boxed up and shoved in the garage. "They went through everything," I said, opening closets. "My files, my documents, my personal belongings." David was taking photos with his phone. "This helps the case. Breaking and entering, potentially theft if anything is missing. Let me document everything." We spent 2 hours going through the house. 3 pieces of jewelry were missing. Nothing hugely valuable, but items with sentimental meaning. My financial files had been disturbed. Someone had photographed documents, probably looking for bank account numbers or asset information. That evening, my phone exploded with messages. Family members I hadn't heard from in years suddenly had opinions. "You're destroying the family over money. Rachel made a mistake, but you're making it worse. How can you do this to your own sister?" Not one of them acknowledged that Rachel had tried to steal and sell my $2.3 million house. My cousin Jennifer was the exception. She called instead of texted. "I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. For what it's worth, Rachel tried something similar with our grandmother's estate last year. Nothing this big, but she claimed authority she didn't have. We didn't press charges because Grandma asked us not to. Maybe that was a mistake." Pattern behavior. Rachel had done this before. The next morning, the local news ran the story. Real estate agent arrested for fraudulent property listing. They didn't name Rachel, but our small coastal community knew exactly who it was. Her brokerage released a statement. "We are cooperating fully with authorities and have terminated Ms. Morrison's affiliation with our firm." By Tuesday, 7 of the potential buyers had retained attorneys. David forwarded me their demand letters. They wanted compensation for inspection fees, appraisal costs, attorney fees, and lost opportunities. The total approached $180,000. "Rachel has to pay that," David said. "But she probably doesn't have the assets. They may come after the brokerage's errors and omissions insurance, but there's a good chance she'll file bankruptcy." My parents showed up at my office on Wednesday. My father looked 10 years older. "We need to talk about how to fix this." "There's nothing to fix, Dad. Rachel committed a crime. She's your sister. We're family. We work things out. She tried to sell my house. She forged documents. She lied to dozens of people. This isn't a family squabble, it's fraud." My mother leaned forward. "If you drop the charges, we'll pay you back for any losses. We'll make it right." "You can't make it right. And I didn't press charges. The state did. 27 buyers filed complaints. The title company filed a complaint. The real estate board is investigating. This is beyond me now." They left without another word. The restraining order was granted on Thursday. Rachel had to stay 500 feet away from me, my home, and my workplace. The judge noted the egregious breach of trust and clear financial motivation. At the hearing, Rachel's attorney tried to argue family dispute. The prosecutor presented the forged power of attorney documents, the fake listing authorization, and statements from buyers who'd been told I was incapacitated in a nursing home. The judge was not sympathetic. This wasn't a family disagreement. This was systematic fraud involving multiple victims and forged legal documents. Bond is set at $50,000. My parents paid it. Rachel walked out of court and immediately called me. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. "I was just trying to help. You're being unreasonable. When you calm down, you'll see that." I saved the voicemail. David said it might be useful for the civil suits. 6 months later, Rachel pleaded guilty to real estate fraud and identity theft. She got 3 years probation, 500 hours community service, and restitution of $127,000 to the buyers who'd been defrauded. Her real estate license was permanently revoked. She never apologized. My parents paid most of her restitution. They took out a second mortgage on their house. When I found out, my father called me. I hope you're happy. You've bankrupted your own family. I didn't forge documents and list someone else's property for sale, Dad. Rachel did that. He hung up. I haven't spoken to any of them since the sentencing hearing. My brother Brandon tried to play mediator for a few weeks, but eventually gave up. They think you should have just let it go, he said. I don't agree, but that's where they're at. I changed my locks. I installed a security system with cameras. I placed alerts on all my properties. I'd since bought 2 more rental units. Any transaction attempt triggers immediate notification to David and local police. Last month I refinanced my beachfront house. The appraiser valued it at $2.8 million. I'm not selling. I'm not liquidating. I'm not letting it benefit the family. I sit on my deck every morning with coffee watching the ocean. The view is exactly the same as it was 8 years ago when I bought this place. But I'm different now. I used to think family meant unconditional support. Now I know family means respecting boundaries, honoring ownership, and not committing fraud. Rachel wanted to steal something I'd built. Instead, she proved its value. The house is mine. The deed is mine. The boundaries are mine. And that's exactly how it's going to stay.